One of the things that we talk about in the higher education scenario is that alone is knowledge that leads to liberation. So to whose liberation, what kind of liberation, who is getting liberated from whom and because of whom are open questions that we really must address. But at the end of the day, I think it's also about not just comforting the afflicted, but it's also afflicting the comfortable, especially when the comfortable are terribly, terribly wrong.
Rural setting, the university had nothing to do with the society around it at that point of time. Till it was a Gurukul, there was a large give and take between the university and the society. But the moment it became a university, like Dr. Gopinath told, it became an ivory tower, and there was nothing to do between the university and the society. And we all know that the universities, from time immemorial, even when the first university was established, which was incidentally in India, Takshila, at that time also the main mandate of the universities was that the society of the university should develop along with the university. But slowly we are all forgetting that mandate, and today universities are working like factories. Like in the assembly line, you put a student in the beginning, after 3 years produce a degree holder without any vision, without any purpose.
Higher education institutions are producing today more for the economic, fueling the economic growth, rather than also creating more spaces for community engagement and sort of mobilizing that knowledge which is there. So that's one way. If you see the growth pattern also, I mean, I come from an institution which is known as Excises, even Institute of Social Sciences, which is based in Ranchi. When I was studying in 1979-80, the whole paradigm of the institution was more towards enabling us to have the capacity to engage ourselves more into grassroots realities and see the subaltern philosophies, the challenges at that level, and try to work along with them in terms of defining what empowerment is for them. But today, if I go to the same institution, I find that they are all producing for corporate, meeting the needs of the corporate social responsibility. I am not going to go into the debate whether corporate social responsibility is X or Y, that's not the thing. But you find that the institutions with very clear mandate for producing skilled, trained, committed, motivated, dedicated manpower for working with the community are no longer probably, they have intentionally or by default, I would rather say, the paradigm is slightly different.
Jamia's role in organizing service for the community is also evident in its pioneering work in the field of adult education. The work began for the first time in 926 in the form of a night school. The school not only attended to the adult learners but also the illiterate working children. By 1938, the project of adult education took the form of a department called Idare-e-Talim-o-Taraqi. This department not only produced material and organized classes for adult learners but also sensitized the learners towards various community problems such as poor conditions of health and cleanliness and meaningful recreation.
Education scenario in Indian context, two things will very clearly come out. One is the alarming state in which the higher education in India is, not only in terms of the gross enrollment ratio but also with respect to the quality of education that is being offered. The second important thing is that the kind of emphasis that is being given in higher education at the moment is more on the professional and technical education, which is science, agricultural science, management, medicine and others, to the detriment of the disciplines such as social sciences, humanities, which are in fact the foundations for forming a better humane society in any given country, especially in a technologically fast developing country.